This is the Nomadic Traveler Podcast. Welcome to the Nomadic Traveler Podcast. I am your host, Jason, and our lovely co-host,
Nicole.
And what's our episode about, Nicole?
Top fives.
Top fives. So we did a top 5 episode for you guys since we just bought our camper and we feel like we bought everything in the world for the camper. We thought we would do a top 5 episode about things that you should have, things that you shouldn't have, things that you can make yourself. What else? What else is in here?
And 5 accessories.
I want 5 accessories that you gotta have.
Yes.
So let's get started. And now, the top 5 show.
The top 5?
All right. So, what's our first top 5?
So our first top 5, which is actually a top 6. So we're starting out good.
Top 5 must-haves, right?
Yes, the must-haves.
This is the most important part anyways.
Yes. So we were trying to think of the top things that you really need when you first get your trailer, the things you can't live without.
So, what was your number one most important thing?
The number one thing.
The number one most important thing to you. Not that's on the list.
Oh.
What would you think if you didn't have the list and you didn't know anything? What would your number one thing be?
To get, like, when you get the trailer?
Like a makeup mirror or something? Or like, what would it be?
Whatever. My first thought was like pillows and bedding and decoration.
Okay.
That's
not bad. Decorations. Whoa, I didn't catch that. You snuck that in there on me.
Yeah, like I was thinking like some cute little couch pillows or
some cute little pillows. Oh my gosh, they're so great.
No, I also thought of like kitchen stuff too, like you're gonna need.
They make everything warm and cozy.
Like I was excited for like collapsible items for the kitchen.
Ah.
You know, like collapsible bowls and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, where's the first place you saw one of those?
I saw one of those.
You saw it here, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Saw it.
I have a collapsible strainer, and I have a couple of collapsible measuring cups.
Yes, and I loved them.
And a couple of collapsible bowl, right?
Yeah. So that was what I would have chosen.
That's always fun.
Okay. But
the actual number one most needed thing is a sewer hose.
Yes. Which I would venture to say the Viper.
The Viper sewer hose. It looks like a snake.
It does look like a snake, and it looks like it works really well. So,
well, that's what we got. So we're a little biased, but yeah. I think the most important thing would be to have a sewer hose, because then you might get there and you might be camping, and you'd have no way to offload any of your goodies.
And the thing that go along with that is, in our camper, we need to have connection for 2, right? 2 hoses.
Yeah, we have a bigger camper now, and my old one had a single outlet for gray and a single outlet for black, and now we have 2 outlets for gray and 1 for black.
Yeah.
Right?
So, yes, we do.
No, we have 2 total. So we got one that's a black and a gray. They come out together. They come out of one hose, and then we got a gray.
Yeah. So
the bathroom is on its own tank, and then the kitchen sink is on its own tank, and then the black is combined with one of the 2.
Yeah. So
we need a Y. So we need a sewer hose coming off of each side that goes into a Y, and then the Y, a hose that comes off of the Y that goes into the actual tank.
Yeah. And I think that's the first thing they take you to when you go to the store is the hose.
That's at least the first thing they took us to, was a sewer hose.
Mm-hmm. That's how I knew that was the most important. Number 1. Number 2 is something that some people didn't think was a must-have, but we did.
Number 2 is controversial, but
yes.
I think it's important.
Yes.
In my opinion, at least.
Last weekend we used it, didn't we? Wasn't it important?
It's on there. Yeah, the power. Yeah. As a matter of fact, yeah, we did use it last weekend, and the power went out, I don't know, at least a dozen times in the middle of the night. I don't know what was going on. It was coming on and off.
Yeah.
And I felt like we were protected and it wasn't going to fry the crap in our camper.
Yeah. So the second item is a surge protector.
A sugar protector?
I wrote sugar protector, which is real close. That's what it should be called.
Our show knows Nicole wrote sugar protector.
Should be protecting that sugar.
Protecting that sugar.
So yes,
It protects your sugar.
It does. See? So that's important, I think, right?
So yeah, ours protects against surges. So when the power is going on and off and on and off and on and off like that, it's going to keep you from having surges in there that are going to go through and fry your TV, fry your microwave, fry your water heater, anything bad like that. And then ours also protects against brownouts. So if you have too low a voltage, it would shut the power off and notify you that you are not getting adequate voltage, and you could damage your TV, your stereo, things with sensitive electronics.
Do you think that would be covered on any type of like warranty or anything if that were to happen to you?
That's a good warranty question. That's a Mr. Ryan Holcomb question, I think.
Ooh, write that down.
Write that. Hey, I'm not the note taker.
Got it. It's in my brain.
So now, should we pause it? Should we pause the show so you can write it down?
No, I got it.
Make a note.
Yes.
Ask Mr. Ryan Holcomb if we had a brownout.
Yes.
Would it cover? Would the warranty cover?
Yes.
Somehow, I don't know. Somehow I got a feeling they might try to weasel out of it.
Yeah, because you should have had a sugar protector.
You should have had your sugar protector on there.
You didn't want to protect that sugar, so you lost it.
Now your sugar dumped all out on the floor.
So yeah, I don't know. That is a good question because that'd be pretty crappy if you just got a brand new camper, you didn't get your protector, and then you lost everything.
Yeah, that'd be really rough.
Yeah, you'd be sitting in there twiddling your thumbs.
That'd be really rough. And then also stay tuned for our Don't Do That, where we got something that's really bad.
Yes.
That you definitely don't want to do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So number 3.
Yes.
Is what probably should have been number 2, honestly. It could have been interchangeable, I guess.
Yeah.
Number 2 would be chemicals for your sewage tank so you don't stank.
Yes, I learned all about these this weekend at our first trial at the camper.
So what are you putting in there?
And I didn't know when you put it in there. I also didn't know about like putting more water in your toilet after you used it. So that was interesting.
So why we're talking about it, Walnut Ridge, you should close people's sewer doors after you test their stuff for them. Because I went through and put chemicals and everything in our tanks. Luckily, we hadn't used anything yet, and the camper's brand new. So I went through and put chemicals, and we'd run a little bit of water and washed our hands, a little bit of stuff like that. And I noticed it was leaking out of the cover, and I couldn't figure out why. And I went to open the cover, and all of the water in the tank came gushing out. And I realized that the sewer was wide open, as well as both the gray tanks were both wide open, because they had went through and put water in them and tested them before we bought the camper. But they did not close the valves. So I could only imagine if we would have had 40 gallons of sewage in there rushing out as soon as I popped the cap off of there.
I was inside. I hear, ah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could have been very catastrophic. I was like, thank God it was empty and it was just, deodorizer and water.
Yeah.
And they had never, ever been used at all.
So for people who don't know, the sewage tank chemicals, what do those do for you?
They keep your poo-poo from stinking.
Stinking.
Because otherwise, you might develop an odor after a while.
Yeah, because I'm thinking it gets hot, right? In summertime, it's real hot.
Especially, when I was in Florida, it gets to cooking some poo-poo in there.
Cooking some poo-poo.
Cooking some poo-poo.
It's probably the most thing that's going to be cooking in our camper because we don't cook.
And then like my chemical, you're supposed to put 2 ounces in there. I always do double. I don't know if this is good advice for everybody or not. Use your own judgment, but I always put double. So if it says put 2 ounces, I put 4 ounces in there because I always figure you can never have too much smell good in your poo-poo tank. So it also helps to biodegrade the poo-poo and the toilet paper.
Yes. Right.
So it helps to break all that down. So I feel like you can't have too much chemical in there doing that job because you want it to be as broken down as possible.
Yep.
So
more is better in this case.
So
which the next one that we have listed actually kind of goes with this, I think.
Number 4 or 3.5, whichever you like,
is RV toilet paper.
Why do they have RV toilet paper, Nicole?
Because it breaks down easier.
And
It
And
helps
and
with
and
wiping.
what?
Because it breaks down easier, it goes down
And it
easier.
helps with wiping. That was awesome.
Was it good?
No.
Because I didn't know what you were going for there.
No, it has less cotton in it. So yeah, it breaks down faster.
Yeah.
Regular toilet paper has too much cotton in it, so it won't break down as well.
Yeah. But
So-
you know what? And it actually, ladies out there, it does not feel super thin. I was really worried it was going to feel like.
Nah, it's really
Nothing.
not too bad. Well, it used to be single ply, but now it's double ply. They all have double ply for all of them.
Oh, nice.
But it used to be single ply, so it used to be not quite as good.
Yeah, but it's good. No, it's not bad. I wasn't mad.
No, it's pretty close to, regular toilet paper.
Yeah.
And then I think you can buy like Charmin. Do not quote me on this. You guys do your own research. But I think you can buy like Charmin as long as it is approved for septic tanks.
Oh, okay.
So if your home has a septic tank and you're buying septic approved toilet paper, I believe you can use that same toilet paper in your RV because it's essentially the same type of thing.
That's cool.
So
Yeah.
I think you can get away with that. But don't quote me. Do your own research.
But yeah.
That's just something I'm throwing out there without any knowledge.
Yeah. But very, very important.
Very
Because you don't want to get that trailer, get there for your first camping trip and be like, uh-oh, I got to go knock on the neighbor.
Wait a minute, knock on the neighbor. What are you knocking
Ask
on the
him
neighbor?
for the toilet paper.
Oh. I thought you meant if you're using the wrong kind. I'm like, I don't think the neighbor's going to help you unclog your sewer tank.
I don't know. We met our neighbors this weekend.
They gave Nicole some salt.
Yeah. I asked them for some salt.
We were looking for our lost shaker of salt.
And they were very kind.
Salt.
They would have
Salt.
given us toilet paper for sure. The TP.
A little bit of TP.
Even though I didn't tell them what the salt was for.
They were nice.
That's good.
What was the salt for?
Brownies.
Nicole goes, we need to borrow some salt to make brownies. And I was like, is there even salt in brownies? It was more for the tequila shots.
Yes.
But
they look like nice people, and I didn't want to ruin our image yet.
she thought they were non-drinkers, so
Yeah.
she thought it was better to lie to them.
And then we were going to say we burnt the brownies in the morning.
That's what I said. I go, wait till they come over and ask how your brownies are, Nicole.
Which is not a problem. I probably would have burnt them anyways. So
Yeah. So we're afraid to use the oven because we're afraid it's going to burn everything.
yeah. Or I will burn everything. So
All right. So
Yep.
that was 3.5. So what are we going with for number 4?
Number 4 is the mattress cover.
Got to have a mattress cover.
Yes.
Even with the nicer RV that we got, the mattress is still awful.
Yes.
I mean, it's definitely better than sleeping in a tent. Don't get me wrong. If you're upgrading from a tent, it's still going to be nicer, but the mattress is thin. It's got like a traditional coil spring in there. It's very springy and bouncy.
And we
Not
even
good.
got the bed. What was our bed called?
We upgraded to the Happy Camper bed.
Yes. Which was pretty happy. I mean, I was decently happy.
It's all memory foam.
But I still want the mattress cover.
So, but we think we're going to get, the Happy Camper memory foam mattress, which is a little stiff. And then we want to try to get maybe some kind of what?
Like a memory foam.
No, not a memory foam. The pillow top.
Pillow top,
I
yes.
think we want to get a pillow top cover to kind of soften up the top a little bit. So you got kind of a soft layer and then a firm supportive layer underneath.
And I swear we're not that stuck up. It's just,
I know, right?
I don't know. It just feels like you just need a little extra. I don't know.
It was a little tough. So
Yeah. I think it's a must-have.
we definitely slept better than we would have in a tent, but
Yeah.
it was a little stiff.
But it's a must-have. It sounds like a luxury because I almost put it in accessories.
Oh, luxury.
But if you don't sleep, you're not going to go there. So if you want to use your camper,
You're not going to go there meaning to the camper.
yeah, to the camper, you're not going to
Don't
go
go
there. No, don't even go there. So it is a must-have, I think.
All right.
Okay.
And number 5.
The pressure regulator.
What kind of pressure regulator?
It regulates the pressure.
What kind of pressure?
Why do you put me on the spot?
'Cause
The
it's kind
water
of a simple-
pressure.
Oh, there
I know
you go.
that. Yeah. See? I'm a regulator.
I'm a regulator.
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 Yeah. So
And why do you need to regulate your water pressure, Nicole?
oh, I know this. Do you want to know?
I would love to know.
Okay. So
And more importantly, they want to know.
so I'm pretty sure this is correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. So the water pressure that the campgrounds give out can be really hard, depending on where you are.
High.
Yeah, really high. That means hard, right? Same thing.
No, there's like hard water, and that you need water softener for.
Okay.
That's kind of a different problem.
Okay, so really high, which means it's coming out really fast.
High water pressure.
Right? Fast. Okay. So it can be, especially depending on where you are in the campground. So if you're closer to where the water's first coming into the campground, it can be higher. Correct. So you need to regulate it so it doesn't like bust through.
It doesn't bust in your lines.
Yeah. See?
So it could be, the closer to the front of the property you are, like wherever the water's coming in, it could be higher. Mm-hmm. It also varies, like the weekend before when we were there was all kinds of people there. Last weekend when we were there wasn't hardly anybody there because the weather was bad, it was raining, and I just think there wasn't as many people there. So it's also going to fluctuate based upon that. If you got lots of people hooked up and lots of people using water, of course that water pressure is going to be lower. But if you're the only one using pressure on the campground, you're probably going to be getting 100 psi, which is why you need to get a pressure regulator that's going to limit it to 60 psi.
To regulate. I did not realize that it mattered to how many people were in the campground. That was good to know.
Yeah.
That. So, yeah, that's a must-have, I think.
Yeah. Well, if you don't want to bust your lines in your camper. So, and they're relatively inexpensive. So luckily I had one of those already from the other camper. Yeah. So there was a lot of things that we were able to cross over from the old camper.
Do you remember how much that was?
That we didn't have to purchase. I want to say it's around $40 or $50 actually for the one that I have.
Okay.
Mine has a pressure gauge on it. So it actually shows the gauge that you're getting.
Okay.
And then it's got a knob on there and you can screw it up and down and you can see what your pressure is.
Okay.
So if you really want it to be low, which would go into filling up your tank slower. Mm-hmm. So if you're in a situation like us and we're at a seasonal spot that does not have a sewer tank and we are dependent upon a honey wagon to empty us out. Yes. Nicole, what's a honey wagon?
A honey wagon comes around and gets all your poop out. And it empties your tanks. So your gray and your black tank.
So yeah, they come around. For $10, they come around and empty everything out. So,
yes. So you don't have to move your camper or anything.
You don't have to move your camper up to the front and empty it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
which is kind of nice.
Because you can get a spot that only has water and electrical very inexpensively. At least you can where we're at.
Yes.
So since we wanted to go with a seasonal spot and be able to have people come down and do podcasting at the mobile podcast studios, and we wanted to leave it there all the time set up, we needed to get something as inexpensive as possible.
Yes. And at
least for the first year.
And I didn't realize, like, I thought that I don't know why, but I thought that there was a limit on the amount of water we could use, which is not true.
No, you can use all the water you want.
Yeah. There's a limit on the amount of space that you can have.
In your tanks.
In your tank, and Correct. Then you have to empty it. But you can always get more water.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can do it all you want to. If you want to call them on Saturday and have them pay $10 and empty it, you want to call them on Sunday and pay $10 and empty it, I mean, they'll come empty it all you want to.
I'm not into that, though.
They make side money on it, so.
Yeah.
It's fine with them.
So I know, like, this weekend, it was the first time I was trying to do the dishes, and I remember, like, soaping everything up, turning the water on to soap it up, then turning it off while I was washing, and then turning it, just being, like, really cautious about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll continue to be that good, but.
Yeah, you gotta limit it a little bit.
Yeah, so, for those of you that didn't know that, or maybe everyone knew that but me.
So you can turn your pressure down, though. If you're really trying to save water going into your tanks, you can turn your pressure down, and then when you turn your water on, not nearly as much pressure is going to come out, not nearly as much water is going to come out. So that might help you offset some of your tank fillage.
Yeah, sure.
So.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. So definitely a must have.
I'm very good at turning the water on just barely and like washing your hands with like a trickle of water. Or I'll go outside and I wash mine at the spigot outside.
Yeah.
And I just wash it at the spigot and turn it off, and then it's all going onto the ground, and then none of it's going into my tank.
We also talked about and looked up some sinks for outside too that you can hook up.
We did look up outdoor kitchen sinks. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's something I kind of want.
Because that'd be easy. That's not a must-have though, but.
It's not a must-have. It might be a good accessory.
Ooh, it is a good accessory.
Did you put it on accessories?
I did not.
Dang it.
But we can talk about it too when we get there, because we're there, right?
What's our next top 5?
The top 5 accessories.
Accessories.
Yeah, so number 1 is my absolute favorite.
What's your number 1? What is number one?
My absolute number 1 is the oxidizing shower head.
That's your number 1?
That's my number 1.
I don't think that'd be my number one.
Okay, these don't have to necessarily be like one to.
Have you used your oxidizing shower gel yet?
I haven't, but I've played with it.
That sounded really bad.
So I tested it out. Let's say that. So I tested it, and it does.
Wow.
It flows really nicely.
Oh, wow.
You know what?
This is getting worse by the minute.
Okay, but it flows like the pressure is really great.
It flows like a champ.
I mean, you gotta get what you gotta get. But for ladies out there that are wanting to feel like you've really washed your hair out, I know after you like shampoo it and you rinse it, you condition it and you rinse it, you really want to feel like it's gone and it's not like feeling like your hair is greasy.
Nicole wants some pressure.
That's right. So you need that pressure.
Bring on that pressure.
But you also got that pressure regulator. So you're trying to save on
pressure regulator.
So you're trying to save on space in your tank, and so this will help you feel like you're having more pressure and more water, even though it's really a lot of it is air. But it's still helping to get out the soap and shampoo more.
Excellent.
So I can have more reviews on that after I actually use it, I guess.
Wait till she tries it out. She hates it. So I changed my mind. That thing is a piece of junk.
Okay, I played with it though, and it was way better than the old one. So just saying.
Did you try both out?
Yeah, I played with the other one.
Did you?
When we first got there.
So how much water's in our tank from you playing with shower?
I don't know. I was gonna check it when we left,
Way
and
too
I
much.
didn't. It's cool though.
Okay, so the number 2 accessory would probably be my number 1 accessory, and that's a Max Air fan vent cover. Well, vent fan and vent cover. Yes. So we got a high volume fan. The little dinky fans that they have in there, if it has a fan at all, is like a little bitty, 4-inch fan or something, 3-inch fan. It does not move any kind of air at all. Mm-hmm. Or it's just got an opening with a screen in it. And then you're just using convection. So the natural rise of the heat rising out of the camper. So all it is like a window. So we got fans. We did get lower end fans. So we got a manual crank opening vent. So it manually cranks open and it's only got 4 speeds. But on high, it will move a pretty good amount of air. So you can crank that open. We have a cover for it. So if it rains, we can leave our fan on even when it's raining. And you can have your windows open and it gets a pretty good breeze going through the camper. And it helps ventilate everything out. Helps ventilate cooking smells out. Any of that kind of stuff. Yeah. Restroom smells. Helps ventilate that out.
I think you could like sell these because you sold me on them.
Max Air vent fans.
Like before we had a trailer, I was like, I want that.
I want a Max Air fan.
Just because
it makes a huge difference. Yeah. I've definitely had campers that didn't have them. I've had campers that had the little bitty goofy fan in there that just really doesn't do anything. And the Max Air fans, they're engineered. The fan takes up all of the space of the housing, and then it has a ring that goes around the outside of the housing. So in order to make the fans as efficient as possible, you need to take up as much of the space as possible in there. Mm-hmm. So if it's not filling up the whole space, and say you got an inch of space between the outside of the housing and the end of the fan blade, that action there creates vortexes that kind of make the air circulate around and around and around instead of actually effectively venting it all out.
That makes sense.
So the engineering on it is pretty slick.
Yeah, for sure. And I know if anyone out there likes that like noise, the black, or what do they call it, white noise?
The white noise. Just
kind of like
black noise.
Black noise. If you like that white noise,
your black noise sounds angry.
It's a devil. But yeah, so I like that. I enjoy that. We didn't get one in the bedroom, which I was kind of excited. Or I wanted one in there because I like the noise that it makes, but yeah, that's cool. But
it's cool.
Yeah, that's an accessory. That's a good one for sure.
Number 3, the
fridge thermometer.
I like this one because it's nice to know what temperature your fridge is. If you open it up, you can tell, how well you're keeping up with stuff, how well it's cooled down. If you just got the campsite and you just turned it on, you can look at it. Okay, it's still 70 in there. Okay, it's 60 in there. Okay, it's 50 in there. At what point you can start transferring your food from your cooler into your refrigerator, and it's adequately cooled off.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Or if you turn it on and you got a whole entire refrigerator full, it's hot and it's got hot water in there, you can see how long it's taken to cool all your hot water and the refrigerator down.
Yeah.
So I think it's good. If you got kids and the kids are standing around with the refrigerator open, you can see, just how warm the refrigerator is getting from everybody looking in there too much.
Yeah, didn't he say like for every 1 minute the fridge is open, that's a degree it loses?
I think he said 5 degrees.
Oh, 5 degrees. Oh.
I think he said for every minute you're standing there with the door open, it goes up 5 degrees.
Yeah.
And then it takes an hour to cool that 5 degrees back down. So if you're standing there with it open, or if someone accidentally leaves it open, you guys are all hanging outside and it's sitting open for 5 minutes. It's going to take all day to recover.
Oh, yeah. So you need to know what snacks you want. Be on it.
When you open it, yeah.
Be on your snack game. For sure.
Which, if you grew up in my household, you were supposed to do that anyways.
Really?
On the regular refrigerator in the house. Oh. You should know what you're getting out of there before you open that up.
Sometimes you got to look around, though.
Why isn't the fridge door clear then?
Hey, they have some now that are.
No, they got the ones with the TVs on them. They don't actually have ones that are clear, do they?
I think so. Well, there's a second door. Sometimes there's 2 doors and one's clear.
Yeah.
I guess not the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we digress. Okay, so number 4 is, I call this Jason's favorite accessory.
Why did you do 6 for this one, too?
Because there's so many good ones, okay?
Okay.
You know
We should have done top 6 then.
Okay, well, make it
the top 6.
Top 5.
Top 6.
You can take your top 5.
Top 5 plus 1.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, so what is this one, Jason?
Number 4 is water purification kit.
Oh.
So campground water is nice. It is nice when you can do your dishes and have water in the camper, and it's not like when you're tent camping and you have nothing. But campground water is not the best. So we got a water purification kit that has a 2-stage kit. They have the little canister ones, they have single stage kits, and they have double stage kits. The thing with a single stage kit is a single stage filter can only do so much at one time. So you only have so much filter space in there when you got it wrapped up into a round canister. So what you do with a double stage kit is it goes through both stages, and each stage removes different particles. And I don't have the kit in front of me, but the one that we have removes like 9 different things. Mm-hmm. So, and since our camper is brand new and we want to be able to have the ability to, say, use the water coming in from the campground to like make ice, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We wanted a double stage, and the fact that it's brand new and no one else has ever used it, it hasn't had crappy campground water all going through the lines. The lines aren't hard watered up. They're not calciumed up,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. And I remember when we were looking at these at the store, I was trying to cheap out. I was like, we don't really need that. We can use bottled water. And you were like, don't you want to remove...
telling you, this is what you want.
You were like, don't you want to remove arsenic? Or I don't know.
Remove arsenic.
Like all the things.
Heavy metals.
And I was like, no, I want those in my water.
I was like, I like heavy metal.
But yeah, no, so I agreed.
Little Megadeth.
Not my style. But yeah, so that is a good one. It's a good accessory to have. Good. Yeah, especially if you're going to stay in there, like people who are out there doing long term.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah. So I do think you're supposed to replace them every 6 months or something. With a seasonal spot, you could probably get away with doing it once a year because you're not using it constantly.
Okay.
But you probably need to do it every year. So.
Like a filter or like the whole thing?
No, both the filters. Okay. So like in ours, since it has 2 different stages, you should replace each stage, I think, at 6 months. I don't know. I'd have to look at it again. You might be able to do one at 6 months and one at a year. You need to look at what it requires.
Cool.
So, but then the single, the inline ones that you can put in line with your hose, really you should be dumping them about every month because they just, they're going to get all filled up with crap. And it's really only, basically all it's doing is keeping like sand out of your camper.
Ew. Oh.
Yeah. Because some of them literally will have like brown water depending upon what campground you're at.
Oh.
So, because it's just water coming out of a well. Usually they have a well on site, and usually the well is not filtered in any way, shape, or form.
Wow. Interesting.
So,
Good to know. Okay, so the next one, number 5, we've actually kind of already talked about it a little bit.
What is it?
The RV mattress.
Oh, so we're doing this twice, huh?
Yeah, well, so the cover is a must-have, I think.
The cover is a must-have.
Because
the mattress is a nice-to-have.
Yes, so you don't have to have the mattress. You can use the RV mattress and use the cover.
Nice.
I think that's what probably 95% of people do.
Probably.
So it's not a must-have, but it's an accessory. And I like it. I think it feels good.
It's good. It's way better than what we had, for sure.
I feel like we are up higher. We're not on the ground.
It's about 2 inches thicker, so yeah, you do feel a little bit higher.
Yeah, and I feel supported.
I feel supported.
I feel so supported.
I feel supported and loved.
That's why you should buy a mattress.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
So yeah, we already kind of talked about that one. But there is a number 6.
And number 6 is the Mud Dabbers.
So the covers to avoid mud daubers.
Mud Dabbers.
He's making fun of my show notes again. Yes, the mud dabbers.
They got the little covers for your heater for your furnace and for your water heater. I highly recommend them. The mud daubers love to make nests in those things. And I've had them in there before, and they are very hard to clean out. And if they get way in there, they can literally ruin your heater to where your heater will not work correctly. And your first cold day, when you need to reuse your heater, you will have no heat.
Oh, gosh.
And the guy next door had these really cool flat ones that slid into the vents on the refrigerator. So we do not have that, but I'm going to go look for those.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know where he got those. Huh. He said it came on his.
Interesting.
So he's got an Imagine 2600, I think is what he has.
Yeah.
So a Grand Design Imagine 2600, and he says his came with the little covers on there. But he was saying that he needed to get the covers for the heater and for the water heater. He did not have those. But he said his did come with the ones for the fridge. Ours does not have one for the fridge. So
okay, since I've never seen one of these, do they sting you? Do they mess with you at all? No?
They can sting you, yeah. They live in the ground. They use mud to build their homes. Oh. So they don't use whatever honeybees use.
Yeah.
So they don't build them like that. They actually use dirt. So they like wet dirt and wet sand, and they will build it like that. Aww. And then they use their little wings, and they fan it, and it cools it off or dries it out, and then it makes the little. That's what they live in.
That's kind of like a sad little life.
We'll be sure to tell the mud daubers you said that.
We don't want them in our camper, but also that
everybody stay away from Nicole. She's gonna be getting stung.
So yeah, that's a good accessory list. What do you think?
I like it. It's pretty good.
Yeah. A little bit of you, a little bit of me. So what's our next list, Jason?
Don't waste your money.
Don't even waste it.
Don't even spend any time on it. It's not even worth it. So, top 5 don't waste your money items. Yes. And we're going to go from 5 to 1. So we're going to go from slightly stupid to completely awful.
Which is the best way to go. Okay.
So the number 1, or really number 5 item in this category is the Swiss Champ knife. Yes. So we kind of looked this up. It's called a Swiss Army Swiss Champ XAVT. And at first it kind of looks like it's one of those things that you'd see that's a joke on Facebook or something like that.
Is it so wide?
And it's like a Swiss Army knife that looks like it's 2 or 3 of them combined. It's insanely wide, and it has over 80 different tools in it, and it weighs an absolute ton. So you're going to spend forever trying to find the tool that you need. It's just completely overkill. So that made our list as the number 5 dumbest thing.
Not to mention, so if you're using that for 80 different types of tools, and that's all you brought, and you lose that, you have 0 tools.
Now you lost your toolbox, fool.
Because if it's pocket-sized and it's gone,
your toolbox is gone.
So yeah, not a good idea.
You should do it just like me. I bring my whole entire tool bag with me. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
I have everything that I need. But if anything breaks, I can fix it.
It makes you a good neighbor, too.
Like a good neighbor.
Jason is there.
I am there.
Yes.
Okay. Number 4 is
wearable sleeping bags.
Yeah, have you guys seen these?
They are awesome.
Did you? They remind me of a Snuggie or something like that. You walk around in your sleeping bag. Hey, I'm just walking to the bathroom with my sleeping bag, and
could you imagine taking that in the bathroom?
My feet sticking out of the bottom.
Yeah, and then all the germs you get in the bathroom.
Yeah,
you sleep with it. That'd be interesting.
They're not super great at anything. They're not super warm. It's just kind of it's one of those things that they try to make better, but it actually just kind of makes everything worse.
Yeah. Could you imagine like getting around and walking around in it in the sweat that you would? Oh, gosh. And then where do you wash it? Like what happens?
I'm assuming you would have to wash it probably every time you went.
Oh, I wouldn't want to get inside that.
No.
That's yours and yours only.
And it looks incredibly dorky, so.
Yeah, you'd be the talk of the campground.
The talk of the campground. Hey, did you guys see the guy walking around in a sleeping bag?
And not in a good way.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that one's not the greatest. Maybe if you were like doing it in like Alaska or some stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, but even then, I don't think they're super warm either.
No.
So I don't think they do anything super well.
You'd get like some of those Carhartt outfits or something.
That's what I was thinking. I think I'd rather wear a Carhartt or something like that, or I don't know. There's so many different things that serve that purpose better.
Right, yeah. But, I mean, if you get them, I'd be your friend because that'd be funny.
Get you a wearable sleeping bag and take pictures and post them on Facebook.
Yes.
Send one to Nomadic Traveler Podcast at gmail.com.
I would be happy about seeing
And
those.
we'd love to see it. We'll put you on our website. Maybe we'll send you a t-shirt or something.
Yes. Awesome. Yeah, so that's number 4.
Number 3. This is Nicole's absolute favorite. She has some of these.
I do not.
She has some right now. She's actually wearing them right this minute.
Actually, if I did have some, I would definitely post a picture.
She was wearing them right now.
Because I didn't know they were a thing until we found these out.
All right, what is it?
High-heeled camping sandals. So just like hiking sandals that you see people wear when they go camping, you know, they have like the thick sole and the straps, the big thick straps, so they're sturdy when you go over rocks and things like that. Except for they come with a heel, not a wedge. For ladies out there that know what I'm talking about,
it's a high heel.
Not a wedge, it's a high heel.
Actually, a high heel.
So I mean, if you're out there looking good, I don't know if you're trying to look good for the bears or what.
When you're trying to be styling at the campground, get you some high-heeled sandals.
That's right. I mean, we shouldn't knock it. It's just,
Please don't do that. Ladies, I beg you.
I mean,
Please
I don't think anybody is worth impressing that much. I'm just saying.
It seems extremely useless to me. But
Yeah. Okay, Matthew McConaughey could be out there.
I try to,
And I would not
look
be
at
in
it
my
from a
group.
female point of view. Like, what could a female possibly see in these?
I mean, I don't know if that's your thing. I want to see somebody do it. Because that's actually impressive if you can really walk around.
Work
with
it, girl.
Yeah, so that one was kind of high on the list because it's just like a whoa, that's a thing.
Whoa.
A whoa thing.
It's like right now.
Maybe this should be a whoa list. Like, whoa.
Whoa.
Okay. You're into that. All right.
Number 2, which actually could probably be number 1, but number 1 beats it out because it's a little more dangerous. Number 2 is
The bubble tent.
the bubble tent. Have you all seen this?
I had never seen it before.
I didn't know this was a real thing. So it's basically like a clear inflatable bubble. So when you are laying in your camper and sleeping, it's completely clear and everybody can see you. There is no privacy at all. It's like the bubble boy from the Seinfeld episode.
And it's not cheap.
It's,
right?
Well, on this thing that I'm looking at, it's 1,400 euros. I don't know what the
conversion is.
Yeah, what the conversion is, but it's still probably over $1,000 US, I'm guessing.
Doesn't sound cheap.
So, and so it says when the sun comes up, you immediately understand how it feels to be an ant and someone's holding a magnifying glass over you. Oh my gosh.
That's hilarious.
And then it also uses an electric pump to keep it inflated, which means when you are camping somewhere, you need a power supply or a generator, and then you get to listen to a pump kicking on periodically to keep your bubble inflated.
Also, when I think about camping, I think about sticks and rocks and pokey things.
Sticks and stones can break your bones,
They can also pop your bubble
but
tent.
they can also pop your bubble.
You know what? That's a good pun, though.
They can also burst your bubble.
Just bursted that bubble.
Oh, you guys got to look this up. It's called the bubble tent, and yeah, it's completely clear. They show a completely clear bubble with a little tent inside of, or with a little bed inside of it.
They're like, John, what's wrong this morning? You look upset. Oh, my bubble tent just got popped.
My bubble tent got popped by a stick.
Goodness gracious.
Oh my gosh.
That's interesting, though.
It is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It would be good for like stargazing. Imagine seeing the stars. I guess that's what.
I mean, if you were really somewhere like completely in the middle of nowhere where you're not had any risk of running into anybody else, I mean, at least you could see like when the bear or the coyote was going to eat your ass.
No, the bear's just like waiting for you.
He's like, he like look out. You wake up, you look outside. He's like, you're like shit.
You see the end of your life.
So at least you would know it was coming.
I mean, yeah, that's something. See, there's always positives in that.
There's always positives.
But don't do it. It's
don't
still
do
weird.
it though. And the number one, don't waste your money item is candles.
Oh.
Candles do not provide any kind of good light outside. So it's not like you can actually use it to light anything. And inside, they're downright dangerous. So especially if you were tent camping or if you were in a pop-up camper or anything like that, don't use candles. Please don't use candles. Don't burn your house down.
Yeah. And if you have a surge protector, then your power hopefully won't go out. And then you can
get some flashlights, get something else.
Yeah.
They get the little lanterns. Everything's got LED now. So I actually have a little solar LED lantern that'll charge up off my lights inside my house, and that thing will last all night long.
Yeah.
It's a little inflatable thing. It deflates down to like nothing. It deflates down to like the width of a credit card or something like that. And it's got a little solar pad on the top, and it's got a little soft touch button, and you just blow the thing up. It makes like a little round cube with a flat bottom. You can set it down on a flat bottom, and it charges off of a solar panel.
And you're good to go?
And you're good to go for at least what you would need to do for an evening. So
that's awesome. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I highly recommend something like that. Please don't use candles, especially if you're in a tent.
Yeah.
And if it's outside, you're really not going to see anything anyways.
Yeah.
That's why when you get like flashlights and stuff like that, they're rated by like candle power. And like usually like a weak flashlight is rated like 300 candle power.
Wow.
So that's going to be like your weakest flashlight out there, 250, 300 candle power, because that's how many candles it takes to make that kind of light. So
it's really called candle power?
that's how they rate them, yes, by candle power. Or lumens. Sometimes they rate them by lumens, but they used to rate them by candle power.
Wow. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah, so let's not be using that, especially in a tent when there's one way out. Generally.
And then we've got some courtesy items that we saw that didn't make our list, but we still thought were funny. We saw a safari hat that had a fan built into it and that had a solar panel on top that makes you look super, super dorky. And the guy commented that it actually worked okay. It did give you a breeze, but he said the vibration from the fan running all the time gave you a migraine.
So maybe you won't be so hot, but
you would not be hot, but you would definitely have a headache. So another thing that we saw was a handheld portable weather station, but you would have to stand out there and use it. You just have to stand there and wait for your weather station to register the information
that you're currently looking at.
And the comments in there said, if you need a portable weather station, here's what you do. You stick your head outside the tent. If your head is wet, it's raining. If it's hot, it's sunny. If you can't see anything, it's foggy.
It's so true. Oh my gosh, I love it.
So, and then the last thing that we thought was kind of funny was there was an air mattress with speakers. So if you're blowing up your air mattress and you got speakers in there, you're going to be the most hated person in the campground. all your tent camping neighbors are going to hate you.
What the heck?
Please don't do that.
Maybe it'd be good for like lullabies for babies or something.
Yeah, there might be some instances like that where it might be good. So.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's the don't waste your money part of the show.
Yeah, much better things to use your money for.
So, and then our next one is the top 5 things that you can make for your camper.
Yes, this is my favorite.
This is my favorite too, actually, because I like making things.
Oh, see, I like watching you make things.
So, I make wooden chocks for the tires, so I make those myself. I always enjoy that. And then I also make wooden blocks for like the landing gear and your leveling feet. And for like your tongue jack, all those kind of things. I make my own boxes and stuff like that for all the gear to work on.
And how do you make those?
I just cut some wood and screw that shit together.
Throw it all together. So anyone can do that.
So yeah, that stuff takes like no skill at all. So I take a square 4x4 and I cut it on an angle, and that makes my chocks. And I just take I take one board that's say like an 8-foot or a 10-foot by 12 inches wide, and you just dice it up into 12 by 12 sections. Boom, 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 boom. And then you screw 2 of them together so it's extra thick. And you got landing gear. You got blocks for all of your landing gear and blocks for your tongue gear off of a 10-foot board.
For people who don't know, what are chocks?
Chocks are the angled things that keep your tires from rolling either forwards or backwards once you've taken it off the truck.
Okay.
So you stick it behind the tires, and that will keep it from rolling.
Okay.
Did you know? Sense. You didn't know what chocks were?
I did.
Are you sure?
I did.
I don't think she did.
I did.
I think she's lying.
No faith. There's no faith here.
No fake?
No faith.
Yeah, no faking, Nicole.
no faith. I swear. So. No, I just knew that some people maybe wouldn't know. They'd be like, oh, chalk?
Chalk.
You know.
Y'all use chalk at the campground? Do you bring like a chalkboard with you?
Y'all gotta make that?
Do I gotta make my own chalkboard, or do I bring it with me?
I don't know why they're like have an accent when they think that, but they do.
You always gotta do the hillbilly accent.
Okay, so what's the next thing on the list?
Garden boxes.
Oh, yeah.
So you can make your own planter boxes, which are always kind of nice. I'm always looking for ways to like dress up the campground. So
yeah,
you could make little wooden boxes that you could put flowers in and then kind of put them around your campsite and kind of helps dress things up.
Yeah. So a couple weekends ago, the first time we went down to the camper, we saw somebody that made a cute little one.
The neighbor had a really nice one. Yeah. Theirs was cool.
And I was like, I want to make that.
Theirs was big, man.
Did you think it was big?
It was pretty big, but then we come to find out the next time we were there, we talked to them, and they've been there for 5 years. So that's why their sites are set up.
It was really deep, remember? It was like pretty deep.
It was deep, and it was pretty big.
Yeah, so I remember being like, I want to make one of those. And you were like, yeah, let's do that. Remember that?
Let's do this.
So we started them last week.
So... And then another good thing we always like, number 3, would be build your own deck. If you have a seasonal spot, you can build just a little shallow deck that just gets you off of the ground, and then you always have a dry area that does not have mud underneath it or standing water or anything like that. It gives you a nice, dry, elevated spot to walk out of your camper onto every time.
Yep.
Is that your favorite?
No, my favorite is the garden boxes.
Your favorite is garden boxes?
Yes. Okay. That's why. Yeah. Okay.
What is number 4, Nicole?
Number 4 is they're hooks that you can put on the edge of your bed. They kind of go along the very edge and they hang up, and then you can put your shoes on them.
Nice.
To hide your shoes.
Nice.
Because if you have you have a pair of sandals and hiking boots and then just like regular tennis shoes, rain boots, you can stick them all under there, and then they're not everywhere in the camper.
If you're like us, you bring way too much to the campground with you.
Yeah, so it's a great way to hide everything and still have storage for it. So, pretty nice.
So, and then the last one is you could take 2-liter bottles, fill them with water, and then freeze them. And then you can stick them in your cooler to help keep your cooler cold. So this would be obviously if you don't have a camper with a refrigerator. And then as they thaw out, that you have water that you can drink later.
Genius.
So then you have cold water, and then it helps keep everything cold. So, and it's like a huge ice bag.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's inexpensive. It's an inexpensive thing to do.
It's inexpensive, and it's super easy. So that's way easier than anything else we said.
You just got to buy the soda and drink it.
That's right.
That's it. I love it. So if you guys have any extra ideas of things that you've made for your camper, I'm always interested in hearing about that.
Yeah, we love the do-it-yourself stuff.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any ideas, please, nomadictravelerpodcast@gmail.com. Send them to us. If you have anything that's super cool and we can use it on the show, we'll send you a t-shirt or something like that as a thank you present.
Yes. So there's our 5 things you can make for your camper.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Next, we have...
today's Hidden Gem.
The Hidden Gem.
Yes.
Coming up next. And now it's time for today's Hidden Gem.
Today's Hidden Gem comes to you from Bisbee, Arizona.
Bisbee?
Yes. So this Hidden Gem will be especially good for anyone that's interested in old vintage trailers and travel trailers. Yes. So it's called the Shady Dell.
It's shady. I'll stop.
It's cool. It was founded in 1927 as a trailer park and just like a campground for people that were coming off of Highway 80 just to kind of relax and rest from a long day of driving. But over time, it's kind of transformed into a place that's just a collection of vintage trailers that you can come and you can stay in, which is kind of cool. It is only for adults only, which is kind of interesting. There's no kids allowed, and it's only open during the summer months. But the Shady Dell houses 9 classic travel trailers. Some of them include the 1950 Spartan Manor, the 1951 Royal Mansion fitted with like dinner style booth, martini glasses, leopard carpet, and some old records.
Wow.
Yeah. So you could live out like some type of dream in that. And then the last one's that it says the most popular one.
This one's mine.
The 1947 Tiki Bus. It's a Polynesian Palace.
The Polynesian Palace, y'all.
Woo, piggies up. It also says that to kind of like go along with the antique vibe, they play like their radio stations are all programs from that era. So kind of going back to that 1950s music, which I love. That'd be really cool. And then the TV only comes in 2 colors.
2 colors.
Dose.
Black and white.
And then there's magazines and books that kind of decorate the area too from that era, which is kind of cool. So you kind of like go back in time a little bit. But yeah, so they do have, the trailers are equipped with like all the linen that you would need, cups, things like that. However, you cannot cook inside the trailers. So they will not allow you to cook. It's said that there's a couple grills like on the campus area, but there's not like a fire pit. Nobody gets like a fire pit. I think they're really worried about maybe one of these trailers catching on fire.
Don't be catching my vintage camper on fire.
Because I don't think insurance is going to bring that back. So you can't use any of that, but there's a fridge in there and things like that. There's no, like I said, no kids, no pets, and no smoking. They're very interested in keeping these, pretty nice.
No kids.
And then, there's only a two person limit. So 2-person maximum. I mean,
no parties, no kids, no pets, no fun.
No, it looks actually like a lot of fun. So it seems like a cool place that you can just go and get away and see some cool vintage things. So I'm down to go.
That's today's Hidden Gem. And now it's time for today's Don't Do That.
Don't even do it.
So today's Don't Do That is a very, very important one. So when you buy a brand new camper and you get to the campsite and you hook all your water up and everything, and you think that you got all your water flowing through your camper and everything's all good, and you're like, you know what? I want some hot water. So you turn your hot water on, but then you don't have any hot water and you can't figure out why, and you don't know what's going on. Well, what you need to do is you need to get to the back of your water heater and make sure that you turned your water heater bypass off. Because if you turn your electric heating element on with no water in your water heater, you're going to fry your electric heating element. And I got a feeling that they're not going to cover that under warranty.
No, I'll write that down as a question. But
they're going to say that you should have known that. Yeah, that's a good question. We're going to have to ask Mr. Holcomb that.
Yes. Let's write that down.
So make sure that you turn your bypass off. Make sure that your water heater is full. And before you turn that thing on, you need to go outside to your TPR valve, little pressure relief valve on top, and you need to push that and make sure water is squirting out of that. So, and one step further, you need to push that down a little bit and make sure all your air is out of your tank and your tank is completely full of water.
Yes, and it might be a hunt to find that.
Yeah.
Find that switch, because we had a hunt.
We had to remove the floor in our closet to get to the water heater bypass.
Yeah, they don't just like label it and just have it sitting out there.
No, so it's not. Usually they're easier to get to. Every other camper I've had was easier to get to. This one was a little hidden.
Yeah.
Hidden in.
Yeah, but that's a definitely don't do that.
So yeah, if you accidentally turn that thing on, you're going to be in trouble. Your gas propane heater will still work, but your heating element for your water heater will be burnt out, and you will have to take it in for a service call, and that's never any fun.
Yes.
Because that means time without your camper.
No camping.
And nobody wants that. No camping. Wah, wah, wah.
Yes. So don't do that.
So that's today's Don't Do That. Welcome to Nomadic Traveler Podcast. I am your host, Jason.
And your co-host, Nicole. Okay, what the hell? Jason. I'm supposed to say that.
I always say it.
No, you don't.
And your lovely co-host, Nicole.
Okay, all right.
No, let's go.
No, go ahead.
Let's have an argument on air.
Let's go.
Let's do that.
I'm not arguing with you about it. Let's go.
No, that's cool.
No.
And
come on, just go.
And
no, come on.
And
erase all this.
And oh, now we're dropping F-bombs.
Go back.
Well, there goes our rating.
Jason, come on.
All right, today's podcast is about top 5.
You need to redo this.
Top 5.
Go back.
Okay, Nicole's not participating now. So I'm going to do the show by myself. Today's top 5s are...
Please? Let's go back. Start over again. I'll let you introduce me. Come on.
No,
I jumped the gun. Let's go.
No, it's okay. I like this.
No, I don't like it. Let's go.
I like the mishappen nature of it. Let's go with this.
Let's not.
Sold.
Just please go back.
No, this is good.
No.
From now on, whenever we screw up, we're just going to air it.
No.
From now on.
Jason, please just go back.
This is awesome. Do you want to go back and listen to it? Because I bet it's good.
No, it's not good at all.
I bet it's awesome.
Just please go back.
Why?
Because I don't like it.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
I want to listen to it. Maybe we can go listen to it and see if you like it.
All right, let's do that. Oh, it sounds kind of cool.